Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new series on medieval toys, episode 2. And this week we'll be looking at a Lord of the Rings figure. This is a Rohan soldier from Tolkien's books and from the Lord of the Rings movies. When I saw this figure, I just had to get it. Of all the figures in the line, I guess you can say, for this one reminded me the most of a sort of typical Germanic warrior. As many of you know, Tolkien was a professor of English who specialized in medieval literature and languages. And so he designed the Rohan people. Some think after the Goths, Anglo-Saxons. It's this conglomerate mixture of Germanic cultures. And so I just wanted to point out a couple little details on the figure. This helmet is, at least for me, very reminiscent of the Sutton Hoo burial, the helmet that they found in the Sutton Hoo burial. And you can research that if you like to find out more details. The crest sort of on top of it, which is a horse, that's not typical of the Sutton Hoo helmet burial. But also we have a lot of armor here. This isn't typical of the Germanic tribes historically, but there are exceptions to that. The Germanic tribes that were near the Roman Empire that would conquer part of Rome's armies, they would obviously take the armor and reuse it. But here we have some typical sort of Germanic brooches here for the cape. You can see some of the designs on the equipment here look sort of Germanic, Celtic-y, if you will. And he has a sword, obviously, here, and a scabbard. And then we have this nice spear here in the front. And typical for Germanic warriors, the ashen spear was very important. The ash tree was the tree of choice for spears because of the grain. It had a tight grain, and it also stayed relatively straight. So with a spear, you don't want it to be crooked and too flexible, so that the spear would fly straight. So anyways, you can always get into a lot of this stuff in the background, Germanic mythology, how the spear and the sword are important for Germanic myth. But yeah, so let's look at some of the packaging. Here's a nice image of the Rohan warrior. I'm not going to try to say that name because I'm not super proficient with the language, the Rohan language, Rohanic, I believe it is in the book. So these are some of the figures in the series. Nice packaging, and yeah, that's it. So also, I just wanted to give a little shout out to this book. It's called The Barbarians. This is one of the first books that really captured my imagination about the Germanic tribes, warriors, and wars of the Dark Ages. Tim Newark, and this cover artist actually is his name. You see the MCB here. This is Angus McBride. He was a historical fantasy painter. He did a lot of really neat paintings. Some of these drawings are from the British Museum. And if you are in England, ever get a chance to go by the British Museum, you can see the Sutton Hoo helmet there, which I was fortunate enough to see. But this is sort of a heroic Germanic type of warrior. Again, you can see that spear there. A lot of good information, good research in this book. Really well done. There's a couple little images here. Here's the Sutton Hoo helmet, and this is sort of a reconstructed version of the helmet. And if we compare that with the Rowan soldier helmet, it looks pretty similar. And if you're interested in this Sutenhu ship discovery that archaeologists found. There's a nice movie called The Dig on Netflix that you can watch, and it's all about that Sutenhu discovery. So here are some of McBride's paintings about the Germanic tribes when they faced the Romans in the Teutoburg or Teutoburg forest. Various other ones. Here they all have armor and spears and swords, which of course the Germanic tribes did have in the later Middle Ages, but not so much in the early Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. So anyways, that's it for this episode. And yeah, if you like the video, give the video a like, leave a comment also. And let me know if you're interested in this type of stuff. And eventually I'd like to start a live stream together talking about medieval literature, art, comics, toys, pop culture, all that stuff. So let me know if you're interested. And yeah, subscribe also. Happy Wolf Art is my channel. Thanks again.